Hello YouTube and welcome to another video. So this is another video in my Japan trip series, and in this video I wanted to take you to some cute themed cafes. In Osaka and near it, we're going to the Cinnamoroll Cafe, and I also wanted to show in one of my videos the Noodle Museum. And because this is the most food themed video I'm gonna make about my trip, I figured the Noodle Museum would fit in nicely. I was originally gonna make a whole video on me just tasting different foods in Japan, because these are the kinds of videos I actually enjoy watching myself quite a lot, but after filming a few of them I felt like I didn't really have enough interesting things to say. I hadn't thought out the format enough, and also I found quite a lot of stuff that I just plainly didn't like, and I felt like the video would be too negative. The melon bun and those chips that I'm eating here I did like. But anyway, I scrapped that whole idea, so we're just gonna see some of those clips of that original concept here. I guess this is the most food themed video you're gonna get overall in my channel as well. This isn't something I normally do, but I like trying different stuff on my channel, so hopefully you will enjoy it. So before we get into the themed cafes, I just wanted to mention that one of the first places we ate in Japan, literally actually the first place we went to eat at, had a Jujutsu Kaisen collab. And I didn't get it because it was only beef, and I don't really like beef, but they had these Jujutsu Kaisen themed folders that you would get with your meal, and I just thought it was so hilariously Japan that the first place we went to had an anime collab. I don't even know what it was called, because honestly the food was just fine, but I just wanted to mention it. So the next morning we decided to go for some pancakes, and there was a pancake place ridiculously close to us that for some reason on that morning we didn't find. But we did eventually find it again at another day, and we had pancakes there several times, and I really recommend pancakes in Japan. They're so good. We had the regular pancakes. I also tried the melon soda you can see here because it's so iconic, and those chocolate pancakes. By the way, those little coffee beans are not coffee beans. They're made out of chocolate, which I think is so cool because they look so much like real coffee beans. Pancakes themselves were so good, really fluffy and delicious. But that morning, after failing to find the pancake place, we found this place called Queen Sugar Time, and it just seemed so beautiful. All the food looked so pretty, and it was themed around card games and gambling, but also like regalness, and I'm so sad that this place isn't closer to where I live because it feels like a perfect Lolita meetup spot. The ceilings were decorated with flowers, as you can see, and this was also one of those places where I felt comfortable taking photos and filming, because it was very obvious that you're supposed to come there to take photos and film. Like, they even had those ring lights. We originally took one of the more laid back tables, but then the waitress was like, no, wouldn't you like one of the fancy ones? And the fancy one does really match my outfit as well, so I did enjoy it. Now, the strawberry milk was very good, but overall I would say this is definitely the place you go to for ambience. And we got the Christmas cake set that you can see here, and those little pink roll cakes were really good, and I also liked the little apple cake that you can see just a little square in the back. But the rest of them, they were pretty, but honestly they tasted pretty frozen and not that delicious. But this is still definitely a place that I would recommend for the ambience and the vibes and the drinks as well, I think. But now let's move on to, I think, one of the main reasons all of you clicked on this video, a Cinnamoroll Cafe. Now, the Cinnamoroll Cafe is right opposite to the Sanrio Gate gift shop, and for some reason I just saw the gift shop and just walked past the cafe. Like, you can even see it in the video, but as I was filming this I didn't realize it, I didn't see it. There's also a really cute macaron stand right next to it with these adorable macarons. I didn't try any because by this point into my trip I was already pretty fed up with sweets. So we went at the recommendation of my friend. We went on a work day, and we went not that early, but like before lunchtime. And this was a perfectly valid recommendation. We didn't have to wait for a table. We got in nicely. We had no issues. The cafe itself is 3 floors, and there's a gift shop and then the cafe restaurant itself. Now, I'm by no means the biggest fan of Cinnamoroll out there. I like Sunro just fine, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan of it. There were definitely people there who were like decked out in Cinnamoroll merch. There was one Lolita who had just the most perfect court I have ever seen probably in my life that was all themed around Cinnamoroll. But I really wanted to personally just go to a good themed cafe because I think themed cafes are such a cool concept, and this one was recommended to me. It is a permanent cafe, and as per my understanding, I feel like the permanent ones usually are a bit better quality. And this one was super cute. The decorations were all out. I have seen some in pictures that have felt pretty lackluster, but this one felt really pretty, and all the things in the menu, as you could see, were themed around Cinnamoroll, and most of them were shaped like Cinnamoroll. I myself got the blue curry and also the strawberry milk with a little ice cream Cinnamoroll, and the ears are made out of waffles. Ice cream in general in Japan is so good. Try the vanilla ice cream. It's so much better than it is here in Europe. It's less sweet and more vanilla. Anyway, here's the placemat. Everything was cute. They also had themed cups, but for some reason we didn't get them. My mom got this cheesy bacony pasta. She said you couldn't really taste the bacon at all. I thought maybe the little bits were bacon, but she really couldn't taste them, but she still overall liked it. The little stars are made out of cheese, by the way, and she said she liked those too. And the Cinnamorolls are waffles, I think. I really like the curry. I wasn't bothered by the fact that it's blue. I know some people are put off by that, but I thought it was fine. The only thing I didn't really like was the meat. That one was kind of chewy and not great, but the curry and the rice itself I did really enjoy. Apparently the coffee my mom had was really good as well, and it had cinnamon on it, which I think was really fitting. Like, it would have been such a missed opportunity if they didn't have cinnamon in the Cinnamoroll Cafe. Once you left, you had to take your little number downstairs and then you would pay your bill. And that's the Cinnamoroll Cafe. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was super cute, and I definitely do recommend it. Food, in my opinion, was really good. I would say I have pretty high expectations when it comes to food, so I do think it was good. A couple of days later, we also visited the Cup Noodle Museum. Now, this is also something that I would highly recommend. It is quite a way away from Osaka. You do have to take the train there specifically, but the museum itself is completely free. You only have to pay for the workshops, and I would definitely recommend that you take one of the two workshops. We took the make your own cup and noodle workshop because that one seemed easier and also more themed. I think was make your own chicken ramen, but I'm not fully sure. I'm not much of a cook, so I definitely wanted to go the easy route. But the museum itself is free, and it is exactly what you would expect out of a cup noodle museum. If you want to say it's very commercial, you would be completely correct. I am not arguing against it, but I knew perfectly well what I was getting myself into. I wanted to go and see something fun and different and not too serious, and this is exactly that. There's a huge tunnel of different cup noodles, both historical ones and the ones that are currently in sale. I will say that everything displayed is displayed only in Japanese, and that generally the people who were there were mostly like older school children, and I think this is a good museum to go to with your child as well. But I had a lot of fun there as an adult as well. There's this little building that you can see here that I will show more later as well. And here in this wall, there's just an overall timeline of the history of the cup noodle. First, the instant chicken ramen was invented in, I think, 58. And then later they invented the cup noodle in 1971. Now, if you don't understand anything that's being written here, neither did I, don't worry. There were plenty of ample opportunities to understand what was going on later, and I mean, there are lots of pictures here, and like, you can figure out the history of the cup noodle from the context here pretty well. There was also these several huge displays of cup noodles. Yes, the entire place is basically a huge ad for a cup noodle, but if you're going to a cup noodle museum, I think you'd know to expect that. I think this is the oldest cup noodle vending machine. You couldn't actually buy anything from there. You can see that you weren't allowed to touch anything, but you could look at it, and it's like a historical piece of cup noodle history. And we went to the make your own cup noodle workshop. You would pay, I think, 500 yen, and you would get this empty cup noodle cup that you could then decorate and draw. I'm not super happy with what I drew here, but it's fine. You also had to put a best before on the cup so that you would know how long it would last. It would last 1 month from the time that you made it. I still haven't eaten mine. And then you could make your own. You would roll your noodles into this cup, and then you would pick the toppings. Basically like a Subway style. There was a number of toppings you could take. I think it was free, and you would pick the paste as well, either like seafood or curry or original, or I think tomato and chili. And then they would close it for you. It was super easy, but I still enjoyed it. I like this kind of a Subway style food making or food choosing, where you can choose your own toppings. I really enjoy that. Also, I think you could make up to 3 cups per person. You would pay for each cup separately, but just you weren't allowed to make more than 3. But we only did 1 each, me and my mom. And then they would close it up for you, and then you would make your own little cup noodle themed bag, which in my opinion is a little bit pointless. It takes up quite a lot of space, and I don't really see the point of it other than it just looking cool, because you also inflate the bag. Here in the next picture you can see me inflating it with like a little hand pump. So then you have one pretty big bag that just holds 1 cup of noodles. I didn't see anyone who had several cups in them, but maybe you could put several cups in. But I mean, it's a little bit pointless, but I mean, it's still fun. And here you can see a huge wall of cup noodles. And they also had these statistics about where people ate the most cup noodles. There was Finland. Finland was listed, but Estonia, I think, was under other. So we really need to up our cup noodle eating game. To be honest, I think the statistics would be more fair if it was per capita, because Estonia as a small country is never going to eat as many cup noodles as China, but it wasn't per capita. They also had this cup noodle theater, and in there they would show you a film about the history of cup noodles. And this is exactly the sort of thing that you imagine it would be. It's a little animation, it's pretty easy to follow, so if you don't understand the timeline, this movie they show you in this theater also pretty much goes through the history, and it's really easy to understand despite the fact that it's also fully in Japanese. I mean, it's an animation, so you can follow it pretty easily. They also had this recreation of the home of the inventor of cup noodles, so here you can see the sort of environment that he invented cup noodles in. And the little calendar was dated per when he invented them and everything. Overall, I think it's a really fun museum because it's a free museum. I would definitely recommend you check it out, but I would also definitely recommend checking out at least one of the 2 workshops that they offer, because I feel like it really adds to your experience. And outside the museum, they also have a statue of the creator of the cup noodles, so you can take a photo with him, which I did as well. So when talking about my food related experiences in Japan, I also want to mention the maid cafe. I visited maid dreaming because I really had a good time. Obviously you can't film there, you can't film the maids. I asked and it was okay to film the food, but you can't film the maids. You can only get the 1 photo that you get with your meal, but I really had a fun time. The food was really great as well. And finally, I think it would be a little bit unfair if I didn't mention sushi at all, because I think despite all the awesome experiences, my favorite food was still at Gura Sushi, and it was an awesome experience too, with the sushi train, and they even had gacha that you could win, and we won one actually one time, and the food was really great. So this was my food related video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, make sure to leave a like and comment below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!